Chapter 6, Time to Make a Plan. Amy, Bob, Mara, and Ben met at Amy's office to review the essential details of the plastic issue. 1. Please pay attention to these. These are real issues. This is all very real. This is all based on science. This is all based on research that they have done, documentaries and whatnot on what's happening in the world. Okay, so this is why I wrote the book. 1. Who creates the plastic in the first place? Amy had already done some research. It was essentially the petroleum plants. With less demand for petroleum fuel, the petrol companies were making the majority of their money off of plastic, more specifically, one-time use plastic. 2. Why is it such a big problem? Mara had the answer to this one from her experience working with the environmentalists. They are making a product that lasts forever, and it is used for disposable merchandise. They wrap something that will be used one time and then throw it away, and the package that it comes in lasts forever. Forever. Now, follow me for the science behind that comment. 3. What can be done? What about recycling? Mara explained, only 9% of the plastic ever made is recycled. These are true facts from when I wrote this book, the time that I wrote this book. Those percentages might have changed a little bit, but I doubt that they've changed much. Only 9% of the plastic ever made has been recycled. Plastic manufacturers knew from the start that recycling would never work. It was an advertising campaign created to make consumers feel better about using plastic. Back in the 1970s, consumers began to question the use of plastic and its effects on the environment. The petroleum plants spent millions to create ads promoting the benefits of using plastic, and they came up with the reduce, reuse, recycle ads. They put those little triangle stamps on the containers so consumers would think that those containers would be recycled. This was never the solution, but it worked. People felt better about using one-time use plastic as long as they put it in a recycling bin, but it never happened. First, most plastic cannot be recycled. They get away with it because technically it can be recycled in a laboratory, but not in a recycling facility. That type of plastic makes up the majority of the plastic that is being produced. So even if it has those little triangles on it, it cannot be recycled. Second, the cost of collecting, sorting, cleaning, and recycling the plastic that can be recycled is so much more than the cost of just creating a new container that companies are not willing to do it. 4. Is there a solution? Amy took over. The only solution I can see is twofold. First, we have to convince the consumers that they were deceived for decades by plastic makers into believing that these products were actually going to be recycled. Second, and this is the hard one, we have to help create some regulations regarding plastic manufacturing. A. Now, it's easier if you have the book because you can kind of see the outline, Oh, the white squirrel is out there. I feed him and he comes to see me. Okay. A. Manufacturers must be forced into transparency. They must be honest with consumers and inform them of the long-term effects the products they are making will have on the environment. And B, they should only be able to make products that are either recyclable or that will degrade in a reasonable amount of time. No more products that last forever. C, they need to be held accountable for the plastic that they make. They must be made to pay damages for the harm that they have caused to the world and all of its inhabitants. 5. How? This time it was Bob's turn. Last time we faced an issue like this, we only had a small newspaper ad. I have a show now. We need to start hitting them where it hurts. All the millions that they have spent to fool consumers into thinking that these products were safe. He's still out there. Okay, some serious talk here, little brevity, fine. All of the millions that they have spent to fool consumers into thinking that these products were safe could have been spent on research on new products, better efforts into recycling programs, and cleanup efforts. They spent millions to fool people instead of doing more research and trying to create safer product. It's a disgrace. That's what I wrote, because I mean it. The people need to know about this. They need to see dead chicks. They need to see the whole truth about it. Clearly, they were all passionate and equally upset about the problem they faced. Ben was quiet, as usual. This is going to upset some really big people, Amy said. I want to make sure you all understand that. Bob chuckled. What else is new? Ben finally spoke up. So, he cleared his throat and looked at Mara. She gave him a little nod to go ahead. Mara and we're pregnant. I mean, she is. Not me, he said shyly. We are going to have a baby, he finally said. I hate the term we're pregnant. No, we are not. I'm pregnant. You're not pregnant. We are going to have a baby. That's a very, I don't like that. Anyway, we are going to have a baby, he finally said. Amy and Bob stood in shock for a long moment, then emerged with an excited outburst of congratulations, followed by hugs. So you understand why we can't get involved, he added. It's too dangerous. Mara looked sidelong at him. Ben, she said, we will talk about this later. Amy and Bob sensed the tension, so Amy redirected the conversation. I'm so happy for you guys. Bob and I have a lot of work to do to prepare for his next show. And where we will begin. Why don't you call me later? We'll fill you in. They gave more hugs and congrats, and Ben and Mara left. Amy and Bob exchanged looks, knowing that that would be a discussion they were happy to not be a part of. They started working, and they worked through the night. Amy also began writing a proposal to submit to Congress. She smirked, knowing they would take her a little bit more seriously this time than they had the previous time. Her father would be proud, and she knew it. Once they set this into motion, there would be no going back. All right, white squirrel. We named him Ratatouille because, well, he kind of looks like a white rat. We have a population. This one is a baby. It was actually born under the hood of my husband's pickup truck, a flatbed that we only use for trees and stuff. But he opened the hood one day. There was a big squirrel nest in there, and a bunch of little baby squirrels. One of them was white, from the white parents. There's some white ones that have been here for a while. So anyway, I think it's been coming back to the feeder. Anybody have any more better names for him than Ratatouille? Let me know. I would love to hear your comments. I'm going to do one more chapter, and then I'm going to get these ones downloaded and posted because the next chapter needs to be read. It's called Chapter 7, They Meet.